And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a new game from Madigo called Paris New Eden. Now, Madigo games always have me excited. They're very well produced. They do some pretty cool stuff. And the theme of this is a post-apocalyptic but a hopeful one. You know, basically Paris has been destroyed somehow, we don't know why, and now you're rebuilding society. So that's what this game is about, getting together, building buildings. In this game you're going to be drafting dice, using those dice as an auction of sort to win buildings. Here's how it plays. The game's going to take place over 4 seasons. In each of those seasons, you're going to have different mission tiles that are placed over here. One person's going to go first, and on that person's turn, they're simply going to draft a die from somewhere on the board. These dice are going to be rolled, and a certain number of dice are placed on the board in each of these different spots based on a number of players. When you draft a die, you're going to take that die, and you're going to place it down here in your area. So I would put this one right here like this, and then you get to take the action of that space. Once everyone has a certain number of dice, 5 in a 4-player game, 6 in a 3-player game, and 7 in a 2-player game, then the first part of the round is over. The different places are pretty simple. When you take a die from this spot, you get a food. When you take a die from over here, you're going to also take one of these tokens, which acts very similar to a die. When you take a die from this section right here, you'll take one of these equipment tokens, or you'll take the baseball bat token, or you'll take the binoculars. When you take a die from here, you flip down one of these mission tokens, and so there's only 2 dice. So when 2 of them are flipped down, only the one that's left over is actually going to happen. Also, the first person will take the heroine here. And when you take a die from this section down here, you're going to draw 3 mission cards and pick one to keep putting the other on the bottom of the pile. At the beginning of the game, everyone's going to get one of these cards. Some of them are endgame scoring. So this says if I have 4 of these bullets or more at the end of the game, I'll get 4 victory points. And some are buildings, and when I have a certain number of icons and buildings already in front of me, then I get to build these buildings for free. At the end of the round, you're going to see who's going to get these different buildings that are placed under the board. You're going to have 1 less than the number of players here. Whoever has the binoculars token is going to go first, and each player is going to declare how many they have of each of the colors. You'll start with the yellow, the tinkerers, and go onward. So, for example, if I have these dice in front of me, I can say on my turn, I could say I have 1 yellow, because I do, or I could say I have 4 yellows or 3 yellows. I can use these are wilds, as yellows, but I can't use them as a color that I don't have already. So I can't say these are greens. These can only be yellows or blues for me. If you have tokens in front of you, you can also declare those as part of your bid. Whoever has the highest bid will pick from one of these buildings first and put it in front of them. And if you used any tokens to bid on that, you'll flip them over and they become a person who is part of that building. Then the second highest will take a building, then the third highest. Then if 4 people are involved, the 4th person won't get a building. And so you're going to take all these different buildings. Now the buildings will do different things. The red, green, and purple buildings are used to complete missions. The yellow buildings can be just people, or they can give you special abilities. For example, this one says when you draw a card, the mission cards, you get to draw an extra 2 when you keep 1. And these are actually split into 2 halves here. So the end cards here, this one's just worth 4 points at the end of the game. This one here, you gotta get a point for every tinkerer that I have at the end of the game. Here I can take 2 dice on my very first die taking. Here, instead of taking one of the buildings when I win one, I can take the top face down building here in the pile. The blue ones over here, the farmers will provide food. Each farmer is going to provide a food for you, and some of them will also come and with some food tokens on them. Then players are going to check to see if they've accomplished the mission. This is the mission that's left here. It says I need 2 of these red guys equipped with bullets to beat this mission. If I do, I get 2 points. Now if you have the heroine, she is going to count as 1 fully equipped person of one of the colors. But if I had, for example, this card in front of me, you can see I have another bullet and another person. person, and you can collect bullets and more people to get these, because each season are going to get progressively harder. For example, here is one from the 4th season. It gives you 9 points, but you need 9 total between those two colors. Players then have to feed their people. You're going to count up all the people that you have on your properties. The tinkerers and slackers, that's what they're actually called. And you're going to count them all up, and you're going to see what your total population is, and then you have to feed that many. You need that many farmers, and you can also pay canned food temporarily to cover each farmer you don't have. And if you can't, nothing happens, but if you can, you'll get points. So if I have 37 people, I need 10 food, but I will get 10 points. After all this is done, the board is going to be reset for the next phase, and you do it again after 4 seasons. You're going to then score all these end game point cards that players have gotten, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. The dice of this game are bright, cheerful, colorful dice, very easy to tell by the shape of the character and the color what they are. I like them. They're good quality. I think the cards are good quality. I say I think this because they haven't got beat up too much. They just don't feel. They're very smooth cards. I think I prefer linen finish cards. But again, they're pretty easy, and even though there is a lot of symbology, it's pretty easy to see what they do. And the rule book itself comes with a sheet, and for the first couple games, you'll probably pass around the rule book because it shows you what all the Tinkerer powers, the special powers do, and what all the different secret mission endgame bonus cards mean. Other than that, the board is colorful, the whole thing's bright. The game comes with an insert that shows you even where all the different pieces go. It's very well produced. I really had a lot of fun with this game. It's a very simple game. The game box says 45 minutes, and I think it might take a little longer, maybe an hour to play it, especially with 4 players. But there's a lot going on in this game, and yet at the same time, your decisions are simple. You have 5 different places you're drafting dice from. You pick the dice based on what sides you want, because you're going to be trying to get these buildings. You're going to also look at the action. You need more food. You're tempted to take those extra tokens because it's like getting an extra die. At the same time, you want to control what the mission is down at the bottom, and you need to get those secret mission cards. That's a neat concept, and then using those dice to get these buildings, unless you somehow are going out of your way to draft poorly with the dice, you're going to get some cards. So even if you don't win a color, you'll get something, and it just feels good to get these buildings in front of you and slowly build up this tableau of buildings. That's a really neat idea, and it's a lot of fun. The yellow buildings are cool because they give you special powers. The red, green, and purple buildings, they help you accomplish the mission, which could be a lot of points, and also they just give you more people in general. And then the blue buildings, you need those to feed your people. Now, I have gone on record, certainly, as being sick and tired of the feeding your people mechanism in games. This particular one, it doesn't really bother me. And the reason for that is that if you don't feed your people, nothing happens. If you feed them, you get points. It's kind of a positive thing. Even the mission, I think the book calls it a problem. Like, you need to solve this problem, I guess with drugs or with a gun. But anyway, you need to solve this problem, and if you do, you get victory points. If you don't, nothing happens. It's the same thing, really, but it's a positive way to look at it. And in this game, I never felt like I was scrabbling for stuff. In this game, you're just trying to get everything. You can't afford to let someone get all the end of the game mission cards, secret goal cards, because they'll get lots of extra points. And when you get those cards, do you want the card or do you want that extra building that you can possibly build? You can get lots of people, but if you get too many people, you may not be able to feed them and get the bonus of points. In the one game I played, I had a ton of people. And at the end, I was missing 1 food to feed them and didn't get the extra 10 bonus points, which could have really helped me out. And that's just because I kind of went for other things. It's a beautiful production, but it's not a very heavy game. I would call this like a next step game. Like if you're getting into the hobby, a board game hobby, you played a lot of games, you're like, I want to see something the next level. This is exactly where that's at. It felt fresh. Part of that's because it doesn't have the drudgery theme that a lot of games do. It's a nice, clear, fun theme, and it's pretty simple to get into and understand, and you got a lot of different options. Very fun, and it scales well. Lots of good things to say about Paris, New Eden. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.